Thanks anybody that's watching. We just, as always, I don't know what I'm doing on these things, so I now need to figure out how to invite people. Let's get. Sorry guys, I'll get used to this one day, won't I? I'm saying I've got no viewers anyway, so I'm talking to myself. Right, now, I believe I've got conversion models wants to join in. I've just got to figure out how to actually get you in, buddy. And Paul over at 10k Payton is going to join us as well. In your Google Plus page, I believe. Let's fathom myself. So Marcus 10k Painting and conversion models. Conversion models is checked in. As you say. I've got one viewer. I don't know who that is, but invite people. There you go. Right, that's it. So let's do. Yes, right, there's an invite there for all sorts of you. Anybody that wants to join it, you should all just have got a Google Plus invite. We've got a viewer. Obviously, I don't know who that viewer is, so by all means, type a question in the Q&A, and I can see who it is, see how I can invite you in. One day I'll figure this out, as I say. And then I'll get going with it as soon as I figure out how to get somebody else in. Got a few people watching now. Hi to those guys that are watching. Maybe jot in the Q&A, jot in the questions, just to let me know who you are. It's the only way I think I can see who's physically watching. Peyton Ragons away. Just let's copy that. Be a sec, guys. I'm not ignoring you all. Just right. The link is now in the main chat box, and you click on that. That should allow you to join into the Hangout, guys. So anybody's welcome to come in. rules are quite obvious. If you start swearing or start acting stupid, then I'll just kick you out. It's as simple as that, because I don't want the thing to get closed down by Google. So just keep things decent, eh? So just going to give it a minute or so whilst I figure out whether people are joining or not, whether people want to, and then we'll get talking about the Kickstarter. Just don't want to be repeating everything. There you go, somebody's on. Who's that?
Hello.
Miles. Hello, mate. You all right?
I'm not too bad, my friend. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, finally got there. So did you just get the link then in the page? Did you to come on?
I did, yes. I was trying to type out a quick questions here. I can't really stay long because, like I said, I've got work early in the morning. But
that's fair enough. I appreciate the fact that you've come on. I'm more than anything, I appreciate your video. I watched it earlier on.
You're more than welcome, mate.
Brilliant shout, mate. Brilliant shout. Thank you.
Everyone, every little helps as much as you can.
Well, that's it. That's why I did the £1 pledge video as well, because I think, well, it was my wife who said it to me. She was just like, well, I never bother with things like that because I think it was not worth it, but it quit. And I was like, no, to be fair, I've got 880 subscribers. If every one of them gave me £1 or £2, then I'm a fifth of the way there. Do you know what I mean? That's my way of looking at it. Don't get me wrong, if you can give 10, £100,
exactly.
If you can give more, great.
As Tesco says, every little helps, doesn't it?
Well, that's exactly it. It's exactly it, mate.
Probably just going to get sued for that right now.
I don't know, yeah, you're advertising them for freedom, so that should be alright.
Yeah.
There's limits. You can't play third-party music, and that's about it, I think.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I just wanted to say, mate, it's an absolutely fantastic idea. It's what wargaming stores should be like. This is what I know. I said in my video, and I said I don't want to steal your thunder, mate. I've had this idea as well in my head for such a long time, and someone finally is actually doing it. And like I said, mate, best of luck to you.
I appreciate that. It's been in my head for ages, and I mean, it took me 12 months just to get to this stage to actually put it out there. I did a video last summer saying that this was something that was on the horizon, and the amount of planning that's involved in it, the amount of detail, never mind the amount of money. So I'm just getting a message up Paul there. We'll be on in 5 minutes. I don't know whether this is different because he's trying to get on through a Mac. They're always funny, aren't they? But yeah, the idea is nothing new. As you've just said, and everybody wants a good wargaming store. I came into YouTube 28th of May last year, so I'm nearly a year old in YouTube world, and the community's just sort of embraced me, and I've embraced it as well. I've become a big part of it. And I think, well, you said it in your video earlier on. Back before we go into that, for anybody that's watching this, either the one person that's watching it right now or anybody that's watching it later on when they do watch it afterwards, it is Chris, isn't it?
No, it's Nick.
Nick? Why have I got you down as Chris then?
I don't know, mate.
I know you use conversion models. I just know you use conversion models. But anyway, guys, anybody that's watching this, we've got Nick, also known as Chris, who's recently started his YouTube channel, and it's going in the right direction, which is always a good thing to see. So go on and give him a sub. It's conversion models, and you'll find them on my page if you can't just find them anyway. But some great stuff that you're putting out there, mate. You're starting well with it, and I think you're on 30 odd subs now, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I've got 30 subs. I got the 30th subscriber today. Thank you to whoever subscribed today. Love you.
It's a great feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. When I first started, I had 3 subscribers, and I was over the moon by it. And I was just like, oh god, 3 people actually like watching me ramble on about rubbish.
Oh, here he is, the man himself.
And
Good evening,
but no,
fella,
like I was
right?
saying, at the end of the day, this is, it's absolutely fantastic what you're doing, mate. And I can imagine the financial backing has just been an absolute nightmare to get, because I looked into it myself, and it's impossible. You need to have the backing to begin with, don't you?
Yeah, it is hard, mate. Just before I carry on with this, so John's just joined us. Good evening, John.
I just joined to see was your accent real or not. Because sometimes you're Scouse, sometimes you're not. Like,
yeah, when I'm talking professionally, I talk like this. But when I want to start talking proper Scouse and all that, like I do in the cab and all that, like I start talking like that, and I can do them in Gerald impression. Yeah, so the gaffer sent us out onto the pitch, like, and we weren't doing a good enough job, like, so he just sent us back into the chest and all that, like, didn't he? Like, like the gaffer said this.
That's too talkative for Steven Gerrard, that, John.
And then, of course, yeah, Paul's joined as well, who is also a Scouser.
Nice to meet you.
And if you don't know, Paul is 10K Painting Studio.
10K Painting Studio on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot on it at the moment.
No, but that's going to change, because I'm going to make him change it. Paul's a pal of mine. He's been up to the store, he's seen it, and he's put some input into it, so I've asked him to join me tonight. And I don't need to introduce you, John. Everybody knows you, mate. Whether it's for good reasons or bad, we all know who you are.
There is no bad publicity. We all know this.
No, there isn't. And
that's why I've got my nipples out. I know you say keep it clean, but Google are not going to throw us out. I'm off the bed in about 2 minutes. I just thought I'd come in and say, hope it all works out for you, mate. It sounds like an awesome shop.
Oh, brilliant, mate. Thank you very much, and thank you for your pledge as well. Genuinely.
I was going to go for the 500, but I don't really know you that well, to be honest.
Yeah, 480 was your cap, mate, and I appreciate that. That's fine. But no, genuinely, mate, I do appreciate it. Obviously, if you can't stay on there, fine. Watch it back whenever if you get a chance. Because what I'm going to go to tonight is
have a good night, Mark.
All right, John. Cheers, mate.
Everything works out for you, mate. You take care, lads. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. See you soon. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
That's the legend that is John Goldsby. He is just.
Yeah, I did manage to bump into him at Slough, and I don't think he would remember me. He was walking around in a kilt all day.
Yeah, he's boss. He's put a pledge in, and he's coming up to give me a kiss. So it gets no better. But yeah, right. So in typical Martin fashion, which Paul knows me, and whereas Nicky,
we get one of them quick statements off, Martin.
Them quick statements that last 6 hours, yeah.
My biggest, on the professional face now.
my biggest problem in life is knowing when to shut this. I talk for Britain, hence why I'm driving a taxi of all things at the moment. But what I wanted to do is, I thought it's better to do it on a live chat, and when you've got a couple of other people involved, you can bounce things in and out. As we get more viewers, if we get more viewers, then people will start asking questions. And ultimately, these things are watched back anyway. It's not so much about the live show, it's when other people watch them afterwards. I've had a few of these where they've been. I did an 8-hour one the other week. Like literally, it wasn't meant to be, but it kicked us off before we'd finished, which was nuts. But there was a lot of talk about the store at that point. And yeah, that's what this is. So I've advertised this on the Kickstarter page as well. So there'll be a lot of people, hopefully a lot of people looking at the Kickstarter, not knowing who I am. They'll come and watch this video, and then they'll never want to see me again after this video, because they'll think I'm mad as a box of frogs. But yeah, guys, so this is WarGames. I somehow can't believe that there was no company registered as WarGames with Company's House. I've got the website, the main names all bought. I am trying to purchase similar web domains, and I've written off to a guy who owns one. Logos are all done and intros, as you've seen on the channel. the lease on the building is sorted out. It's not signed yet, but it is sorted. It's in the hands of the solicitors, and an awful lot of money is being spent and being raised. And then there's a Kickstarter on top. And the very first thing I wanted to address was I put the Kickstarter up, and I don't do nervous. I don't get nervous about anything. Didn't get nervous on my driving test. Didn't get nervous when I got married, first or second time. I don't get nervous at job interviews. Don't get nervous when I'm interviewing people. But I was, funnily enough, sat in Games Workshop Southport as I got the email back to say yes, I'm allowed to make the Kickstarter live, and it was a nervous moment pressing OK on it, because it's the unknown territory. If it fails, what does that mean? If it fails, if I don't raise this £5,000, what does it mean? Does it mean that people aren't interested? Does it mean that people are talking about it, saying it's a good thing, but then they're not actually really all that bothered about it? Or does it just mean nothing? Does it just mean that fine, the store still goes ahead anyway, regardless of the Kickstarter, the store will go ahead. It was just the Kickstarter is to help and benefit the launch of the store, if you like. And go on, sorry.
Well, that's it. That's exactly what you've just said. It's just that little bit extra boost, as you just said. You know, it's the store's already in the process of being finalised, isn't it? You know, I know exactly what you're going through with the solicitors because I'm going through it myself.
Yeah, you've got a house, haven't you?
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, so I wouldn't say no. You know, as much as you'd like people to be interested in all like that, I wouldn't say no. It's not going to be a downfall. It just gives you that little bit extra boost, that kind of safety net.
That's it.
Type of thing.
That's it. And the conversation I had with Paul last week, we spent all afternoon in the shop last week, and or in the shop as it is in its current state. And we were talking about different ideas, which I'll touch on some of those throughout this video anyway. And it's almost a twofold thing, this Kickstarter. I put £50,000, or I'm putting £50,000 into this business, and that breaks down into lots of different areas. The website's £3,500, £4,000, because I don't just want. My dad, for example, he said to me, he said, "You're alright with computers. You could build a website, couldn't you?" I was like, "No." He said, "Yeah, but you could just figure that out." I was like, "I could build a crap one." And I don't want that. I want this to be a professional-looking store, and the website needs to echo that as well. So I want it to be a professional website. It needs to be better than everything else out there, or at the minimum, as good as everything else out there. And
sorry to interrupt, Martin. But what I mean, as you said, I've seen the store. I've been up to the empty shell that it is now. What you've got planned for it isn't going to be like anything else out there. It's not going to be your game workshop. It's not going to be your gaming club. What you've got planned for it is going to be something completely different. And if you can even achieve half of what you planned out, what we walked through that entire store, you showed me every single area what you'd have planned out for it. If you can even achieve half of what you're planning, it's not going to be like anything else out there. It's going to be something completely different. Whether the Kickstarter takes off or not, the Kickstarter's it's showing interest. You've already raised funds. Yeah. It's been less than a week, so it's showing interest. It's Kickstarter passes or fails. It's advertising.
Well, that was what I was saying. It's a twofold thing, isn't it? Kickstarter's one there to get some extra money, but also it's there to advertise it to people, to let people know that WarGames is coming, and prepare yourselves for it, because the guys who are local and come and visit the store regularly will get the benefit. The guys who aren't so local can still come and visit the store, but the web store's there, and I'm going to be I'm going to be a
You
presence.
rent me a room just in case my missus. You
You're
rent me a
having
room
loft
just in
out,
case
yeah.
my missus kicks me out, aren't you?
Oh, Paul, how good's the loft?
I'm still waiting for my job application in the post.
It got lost on its way down to Portsmouth.
Yeah.
A bit of a commute, that lad.
Yeah, that is a hell of a commute. But no, like exactly like sorry, is it John?
Paul.
Paul.
Oh, sorry, Paul. Just
Alright,
exactly like what Paul said. You know, this hasn't been done before.
Yeah, and
It's a completely unique idea. I know people have probably had the same idea, but no one's actually had. I'm sorry for saying this, but had the balls to really do it. Do you know what I mean?
And don't get me wrong,
the only way I can really
no,
say
that's a fine comment, and it is. I very much am putting my balls on the line with it. I mean, I've got an exceptionally young family to the point where I've got a 2-week-old daughter. I'm taking this on board. I've got a little girl who's nearly 3.
They both got WarGames t-shirts.
And my wife says to me, it's not the right time. My argument back to it is, well, it'll never be the right time. There'll always be a reason not to do something. But I was taught many years ago that there are people that work for people, there are the people that employ people. And I'm the second. I work for myself, pretty much always have done. And you need to listen for the knock on the door. Everybody has it. Everybody has like an idea or something, and it was described to me as somebody knocking on the door. The first skill set is being able to hear the knock on the door. The second skill set is having the bravery to walk through the door. That's what I've done. It's been knocking away for over 12 months, probably 2 years to be fair. And it's just about taking that plunge and walking through. And as I've said to anybody who will listen to it, you know, if it doesn't work, and in 18 months' time I close the business, I had to go.
Yeah, at least you can say you tried. Exactly.
Yeah. I won't be wondering.
At least
I'll
you can
take some of
say
that.
you tried.
We'll definitely take some of that cost price stock off you if it doesn't work.
It's not going to not work though, so it'll be alright.
Yeah, so you're fine.
Positive vibes. Positive vibes.
Well, ultimately, and again, so I'll come back to the Kickstarter money. Sorry. Ultimately, yeah, and I'll come back to the money. It will work, and it will work for many different reasons. And the biggest reason, if I sound bullshit, arrogant, or cocky to anybody, then I'm sorry, but that's me. I am doing it different in the fact that the expression I keep using is I'm putting the horse before the cart, which is exactly how it should be done. There are so many people out there who have come into some money through redundancy or an inheritance or something, or whatever it be. They've got a bank loan. It doesn't matter how they've gone about doing it, but they think, oh, I'm into this, i.e. our hobby, or like a fella will get made redundant and given his money to the wife who likes shoes, so she opens a shoe shop because she thinks she loves shoes. And it doesn't work. If you try to open a business because it's your hobby, you will fail. If you see that there is a business to be made from your hobby, then it can succeed. And it's a big difference between it. A lot of people open up small shops, and I don't knock anybody for having a go. I suggest everybody should have a go if it's your cup of tea. But I've had the argument with Games Workshop, the trade team who have been speaking lots with, have said, "Oh, you don't want to take all this stock over straight away. Just start off with a 1 meter rack." And I was like, "I don't want a 1 meter rack. I can't open with a 1 meter rack of like a couple of boxes of tactical marines and Space Marine Codex. That's not going to work for me. I either have the range, the entire range, or I don't have anything. It's as simple as that." And my expression, I think I've said it to you last week, Paul, was it's go big or go home. And to make this work and work as a business rather than just scrape by as a little independent, you've got to literally hit the ground running and both barrels loaded, all the expressions and cliches that I can come up with, they're all involved in it, because it is super important that it's right. Now, to touch on the money, I'm not going to sit here and explain where every single penny of me 50 grand has gone, because A, I don't want to, and B, nobody's particularly interested. But my GW stock order alone is just over 15 grand. And that's just for Games Workshop stock. And that's not enough. I'm telling you now, that's not enough, Paul. You've seen the size of the shop.
Yeah,
it will suffice, but I need to start selling quickly so that I can get deeper and deeper stock levels. I want to have enough stock so that whether you come into the shop or you're shopping online with me, I've always got the stock for what you want. I don't want to be one of those other online retailers who takes 4 weeks to get your stock out to you because they've got too many orders. I won't mention names because that's unprofessional, but we all know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be them. And I'm not going to be the cheapest online. It's worth addressing that one straight from the offset now. There are companies out there offering 20-25% discounts on their web store. Fine. When they go out of business eventually, I'll hopefully get some of their customers as well, because you can't survive on those tiny margins.
Well, yeah, you're not going to make a big enough profit margin, are you, at the end of the day?
Well, you're not making any profit margin, because people seem to think, and I've had a couple of emails because of the type of pledge levels that I'm offering, people seem to think that there's, let's use Games Workshop for example, that I'm getting 50% discount off Games Workshop, so although they sell at 25%, I'm still making 25%. That's uneducated or business educated.
Sounds like a few of those people have been visiting a few forums online.
Yeah, probably. It's not 50%. It's much less than that. Well, it's 36% as a starting point. If you jump through a couple of hoops, you get more, but it's never more than 40%. And after 36%, whatever I sell the product to you, the customer, I've got to pay your VAT on that. So wherever I sell it to, 20% of that then comes off the VAT. So if I'm already, say, 10% lower than retail, and then I've got to pay 20% VAT onto it, your margin just shrinks down, and then you want free postage at £30 or more, which you've got to do because you can't survive otherwise. But the postage still got. I give you free postage, but I still have to pay £3-4 to post it. And if my profit's only £7 on a box of Marines, and I'm giving you £3 of that profit, then I'm only making £4. Now, all right, you've got to buy 2 boxes of Marines to get the free postage, but you know what I mean? It's a 25% discount, you're making nothing, and then you've got PayPal charges. PayPal charges something like 1.75%
Exactly.
a transaction, and everything is a cost. Now I will swallow the cost. I'm not going to charge for postage on orders over £30. I'm never going to charge for PayPal. Whereas a lot of these online, again, I'm trying to refrain from naming names because I'm on a live show. But there are other online retailers who don't tell you up front until you get to the checkout point. Well, yeah, you can pay with PayPal, but there's a 2% surcharge. You won't get that from me. But what you also won't get is 20% discount. You'll get between 10 and 15% discount off most lines. And if you buy it at that, you buy it at that. If you don't, then fine. My business model is not my online market. I want to have a strong online presence, but I'm not going to fight with over-discounted sellers with bad customer service, because you can't win with it. Total Wargame went out of business because of it, and that's kind of where I sit, I suppose, with that one. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on it.
No, exactly. You know, don't try and compete with the lower half, as you say. You know, do what your business plan is. Go in with your head strong as or how can I put it, the American attitude, go big or go home.
What is that, yeah? It's very, very American.
The Americans don't do anything small. You know, at the end of the day, just do it, mate. You know, you're following your dream. At the end of the day, you're giving back to the wargaming community. As I've said in my video on YouTube, you're giving back to us, and it's the kind of wargaming style that we've all wanted to be or wanted to play in, where we've had enough room to go crazy, sit down and have a coffee and have a discussion about crap, and do some painting and some conversion, and then also have someone come up to you and just go, oh, that's really cool. Why don't you try this tip? You know, have people come up and advise you. It's such a cool idea.
Well, that's it, and that's. I'm glad
you give it back.
Yeah, I'm glad you just said that, because ultimately, I am a business. I am out there to make money, but this is not a retirement plan for me. This is not going to make me millions and millions of pounds. Yes, I am making money because I wouldn't do it otherwise. I'm not a charity.
No, exactly.
But I'm not making vast quantities of money. Half of the reason I'm doing this, half of it is because it's a challenge and I want to do it. The other half is it is to give back to the community, because I play Games Workshop games and I want to play other game systems, and there is nowhere available in my area for me to play these other games.
It's the same around here as well.
Well, there is one place. There's a small place in Liverpool where I can go to play it, but it's the epitome of everything that I said I don't want to be. It's small, crowded, and smelly, and I don't want to be in there. There are then clubs.
I can vouch for that. It is very small. It is very crowded, and it is very smelly.
Yeah, and I'm in danger of putting people down, and I don't know who's going to watch this video, and I might have offended people there, and I'm sorry if I have, but take it as constructive criticism. Get rid of the smell. But Paul and I have both attended our local gaming club on a Tuesday night, which is Mammoths. Merseyside Mammoths. Free plug for you there, guys. Tuesday night in Ainsdale, just outside the town. And that's great. It's in a little church hall, plenty of tables, plenty of terrain, good bunch of guys, and all the game systems. They'll play pretty much whatever you want to play. You can get a game of, whether it be 40k, whether it be, there's a lot of Guild Ball going on at the moment, there's War Machine, Blood Bowl, and there's something else I think Boards. There's all sorts going on.
It sounds like the little wargaming club that I go to when I can go. I go to somewhere like that, exactly, but
yeah, and that's great. But it's only on a Tuesday night between 6 and 10.
Mine's only on Fridays, and I work shifts, so I can't always get to them.
So if you can't make it, then there's nothing else. And then there's another one that I go to on Thursday night, which is Wardens of the North. That's in Wigan, and again, great club. But they only play GW games, and that's all they're interested in playing. At the moment, that might change in the future, but we've just had a discussion about it recently, and they opted to stay with Games Workshop systems. They don't want to dilute the club by having too many other game systems. I think that's wrong.
You can't have a wargaming club that lives just on 40k. I mean, I primarily play 40k, but there's nowhere else I can go to learn these other games or find these people. I mean, as you said, Mammoths and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's getting into it. They've got into it. I now want to get into it, but where do I go to start? But Yorkie is that place.
Well, that's
especially for our area.
Well, that's it, and that's what came to the decision, and it's not a knock on the Wardens. There was a bit of Zoom when it happened. I wanted them to bring in other games, and they said no. And I was just sort of like, well, why not? And I understand why they're doing GW only. It keeps it simpler from a club perspective. But my attitude to it was, well, fine, I've got a copy of X-Wing, and I've got both an Imperial and a Rebel fleet. Of decent sizes. I can do like 150 points of each. I want to get some scrum ability. I love the game. but I've got no one to play it with, so I need somewhere to play. I really, 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 really want to start playing Malifaux. Every time I look at it, I just think, oh, it's just such a good-looking game, and the mechanics of it seem so simple. So I want to play it, and I thought, well, do you know what? Let's just do it. Let's stop thinking about it, Martin. Let's just open this bloody shop. And then I went, no, I'm not going to open a shop. I'm going to open up a hobby centre that happens to sell the retail products that you need for your hobby. So it is a hobby centre, and the bonus is I sell the stuff that you need for your hobby, and that's how I fund myself.
Oh, yeah.
And that's ultimately where it came from. It just it spurred me on.
At the end of the day, it's basic. How was it? The basic sale and demand in it.
Yeah.
Basically, that's all it is. But you're giving somewhere, like as you said, you're giving people to be the chance to come in and play different game systems. As much as I love 40k, I do love 40k, and I'm a massive Dark Angels fan. Love it. I went through and I got hooked onto that on Prodos Games, the Warzone Resurrection.
Yeah.
Absolutely fell in love with it within 5 minutes.
It's good, yeah.
It's so easy to pick up, really, really. 5 minutes, picked it up, and I was there for 3 hours playing with the bloke. I was there, just stood there for 3 hours just playing away. I was ready to walk away with a starter set, but I don't think I don't think I'd have been very welcomed back if I'd have spent all my money.
No, well, Rob Alderman, who's the CEO of Prodos Games, who makes Warzone Resurrection, he's been in touch with me. Just picking me up through Facebook, and I've had a chat with him. I'm definitely stocking that. I've not played it, I'm stocking it. I'm even more super excited to be stocking Alien vs Predator.
I got a chance to look at that as well. Fantastic pictures.
So good on the pictures. He's in Germany.
So detailed.
In fact, he's back today, I think. So I've got to speak to him this week to try and figure out what level of order I'm putting in with him for that, because I'm not just going to have one copy of that on the shelves. There's going to be several copies. But I need to learn how to play these games, and that sort of, if you like, takes me into the next part of where I want to go. Do I want to do a virtual tour of the shop, or sort of like me telling you how the shop's going to look? Maybe we'll come back to that in a minute.
I would do that, because then it gives people a general idea of what is going on in your head, and it sort of like shows people the layout of the store. Do you get what I mean?
I get what you mean. The problem is I've only scheduled this for an hour and a half, and as Paul will tell you, it'll take me 4 hours. It won't. Cut it down.
Well, what you do is you do a general virtual idea, and you just narrate it, don't you? Really?
Yeah, and there will be a video for that. I've got hopefully. I've just been speaking to somebody tonight, and hopefully.
I'm going to have to get going, Martin, because I'm going to have to get to bed, mate. But
yeah,
thanks for letting me come on, and wish you all the best of luck. Nice to meet you, Paul.
Same.
Take
it easy.
Subscribe to each other.
Yeah, I will do, actually.
Will do.
I'll check out YouTube. Anyway, try for now. Bye.
Cheers, mate. See you now.
Yeah.
And he's still there. No, he's gone. I really thought his name was Chris, and it's not his name. It's funny because you only know people by their YouTube names.
By the YouTube name, yeah.
But,
it's like even Mammoth only knows me as Preston.
Well, yeah.
Every time I go, he goes, "You Preston?"
Yeah. just go with it. Yeah. Does that mean I'm going to start getting called WarGames?
Probably.
But yeah, I think I will do in a minute or two. I will give the audience. We've got 7 people watching, by the way, Paul. That's impressive. And
hello, 7 people.
Yeah, to the people that are watching, by the way, the Q&A section is open. I'm going to open at the side of my screen there. So by all means, if you want to ask any questions, if you do want me to do something or don't want me to talk about something, then pop it in there. There might be like a minute delay on that. I don't know what the delay is on the questions, but I'll keep my eye on them, and between Paul and I and anybody else that joins, then we'll answer them. But yeah, I'll give a verbal walk around in a moment of the shop. I the stores. I keep trying to call it hobby centre, but I keep calling it the store or shop as well. It's everything. But there was a reason I was going to put that aside, and I can't remember what it was now, isn't it? I said something. Right, I'm gone. Help me out, Paul.
Well, what are you talking about? The walk around of the store?
No, but I was going to put that on hold for a second because there's something else I was going to talk about first, and then Nick said he had to go, so it stopped me train of thought. And I had Samuel L. Jackson on for a minute. Broke my concentration. James, hi mate. James, the link is in the event page. If you want to join in, I know quite often you're sat in front of your computer. Feel free, mate, to jump on. The more voices and faces, the merrier. It means people have to listen to me a tiny bit less. Although, to be fair, this one is actually about me.
You're so modest, man.
Always to the end. I wouldn't succeed if I was. Yeah, do you know what? Whilst I'm trying to remember what it is, let's talk about the store. So we've got 6 viewers now, and I say there's people hopefully that will be watching this afterwards. So, Lord Street, Southport. If you don't know Southport, because obviously those people that are local and are going to be coming in, you already know Lord Street. Those that aren't, Google Earth it, Google Maps it, or whatever. Lord Street is the busiest street in Southport. It's the main street in the town centre. So it is busy, and it's a big old, I want to say Victorian, I don't know, it's a big old building. I don't know the difference between Victorian and Edwardian and Georgian. It's old.
It's an old listed building, and it's pretty big where the base is for the store.
Massive. So I've got 22-foot shop front with a nice big double door. And you walk in through this door, and as you walk in, to your left-hand side is a big kiosk till area with 2 till stations. We're going to have a coffee machine on there with WarGames books, so that you can have a coffee and you can obviously just chill and chat or wherever you need to be. And in and around the till, you're going to have everything from all your card games. So Magic, I've got Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Plus, there's a couple of others that people have thrown at me, card games. I'm not a card game player. So, got somebody joined us. I don't know through this, but let's see. Right.
It's kittens.
It's kittens, and I can't. It looks like Arabic. Oh, they've gone again. I think they joined in before as well. But yeah, so I'm not a card game player yet. Where's the event page? James, it's in if you go into your Google Plus and you go on to, I'll have invited you through because you're in my circles. I will have sent an invitation out to you. So if you find it through that, and then there should be a link sort of underneath the event. In fact, you know what? I'll just give us a sec, James. Let's copy that there. See if this works. See. Oh, I can't reply on there, can I? I was going to reply on the comment section, on the question section. The idea is they type the question and I answer it verbally. Links. Yeah, I don't know how to put it to you, James. It's in Google Plus. If you go to events in Google Plus and see what you've been invited to, then hopefully you'll find it from there. Other than that, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm not a card player yet. But Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Apparently there's one which is very, very much an 18 plus card game. So that will be stocked, but not just sat on the kiosk. And then there are other card games that I've been told that I should stock as well. There's also going to be sweets, drinks, and a big retail fridge full of cold drinks. And behind the kiosk is going to be all your spray paints, so like the Citadel spray paints and primers. pardon me. I will have Army Painter for spray cans, and then you have all the hobby tools, which will be GW hobby tools plus non-GW hobby tools, which are obviously cheaper, not necessarily better, not necessarily worse, but the options there. There's magnets and green stuff and everything you need, hobby wires, glues, the whole shebang. And then continuing down that wall after the sweets and drinks is the Games Workshop wall, and it will be the entire Games Workshop range. Now let me clarify what I mean by the entire GW range, because you put these things out on the likes of Facebook and whatever, and people just start jumping down your throat and saying that they know better and that they're this and that and the other. And the haters are going to hate, and do you know what? You've got to feed the trolls. I get on with that. By the entire range, I mean whatever you can buy in a Games Workshop store, you can buy in my store. That's what I mean by the entire GW range. There are web exclusive products that I can't have in store because they're web exclusive. I'm not sort of above that. What I have got is access to those web exclusives as well, at a discounted price, so you can still order them through my web store. They're just not there to pick up when you come in, so you've got to wait anything up to 7 days for them to arrive. But they're there. And the big cabinets in between the shelves. Ah, there he is, James. Good evening, James. Are we all right?
Yep, I'm okay. How are you lot? Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. Glad to have you on board, James. Paul, James.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, so there'll be cabinets in between the GW shelves with GW armies in there. Now, some of them will be my armies, some of them will be customers' armies. Paul, you've already said about putting your Tau army in there, which is a fantastic army. That looks really good. So that can go in the cabinets. And it's there to show off the products that are available to buy, because it makes sense when you can see them in the flesh as such. Now, down the other wall, the first thing you're going to see when you walk into the store, what you're going to see from outside the store, which is what's hopefully going to draw people in, is the Star Wars section. Games Workshop is a big brand name to us within the hobby industry. Most of us have heard of Malifaux and Bolt Action and War Machine and things like that. But everybody has heard of Star Wars. So the Star Wars bit needs to be at the very front of the shop so that people who are walking past are drawn in. Because Games Workshop's not going to draw as many people in as what Star Wars will. Now, it'll be X-Wing, it'll be Imperial Assault, and it will be Armada. There'll be a demo table in front of it with had a terrain on a battle mat, one of the frontline gaming mats, proper asteroids, not little cardboard tokens, and a glass cabinet showing all the miniatures. Finances depending, I saw you grin a minute ago there, Paul. Finances depending, there's going to be a stormtrooper stood pretty much at the front door with his gun pointing out, but they don't come cheap, them stormtroopers, so it's not imperative that I have it. If I overstretch my Kickstarter, if I do like ridiculously well, I will buy a stormtrooper for the store because I just think it looks freaking cool, and it will also drag people in more. It is actually a selling gate. It's not just because they look good, but it's not on my priority list. But Star Wars hopefully will drag people in, and then you'll see the rest. So behind the Star Wars going along, the rest of that wall will be all your Privateer Press, War Machine and Hordes, the Mantic stuff, so Kings of War and Mars Attacks, and there'll be Bolt Action, and there'll be a small section of Flames of War, because I'm not too sure what's happening with Flames of War at the moment, so I'm just holding back a little bit until I figure that one out. And then there'll be Malifaux, Drop Zone Commander, Dead Zone, the likes of that, and then there'll be scenery and terrain available back to the foreground and Jarvis for your flocking and whatever else you would expect to be there, plus battle foam. That's the transportation storage that I'm going with. I don't want to stock both battle foam and KR, so I use Battlefront myself. I prefer it to KR. I think it's a superior product to KR. Yes, it's slightly more expensive, but not by the time I've sold it. So Battlefront will be my weapon of choice, if you like. I'll run through the middle. The store's going to be 15, maybe 16 tables. I think we counted out.
Yeah, I think we worked it out that it'd be 8 either side.
Yeah, and there'll be a mixture of sizes. So you'll have 3x3 tables for your Malifaux, War Machine, and Malifaux and X-Wing. 44 for War Machine. And then the other tables will be mixtures of, like the demo tables don't need to be as big because they're only demo tables. But the actual gaming tables, we're going to have either 7x4 or 8x4 tables. The reason I want tables that big is that you've got your 6x4 to play on and then a foot run down either side for your dead piles, for your reserves, for your books and things. If I can manage to do it. Sorry, James, sorry.
I was saying, having the little area aside, you know, to put your books on and all your models that have been killed, I think that's a great decision.
Well, it is, because you normally put them on a bench, don't you, or on the stool or on the chair, and then it only takes somebody to knock the chair, and then your flyer has just suddenly fell off, and normally the issue is space. The reason Games Workshop don't do it is they haven't got the space for 2 tables, never mind tables with reserve sections. The small independent stores, always space is a commodity, ultimately, and when
space isn't a potential issue for the size of the store you've got.
I've got more space than I know what to do with. Genuinely more space than I know what to do with, which you'll understand by the end of this. If I can manage it, and this is an idea that I came up with pretty much yesterday. I think it was. I was talking with 2 of the guys last night. John McCard and Ace Face. I was talking to them last night. If I can manage from an electrical point of view, I'm going to put USB points in every table, so that when you've got your iPad or your phone or whatever with you, then not play music, but you can have it on charge, because batteries go really quick on smartphones these days. So if you're using your iPad for your codecs,
like I do,
then it means you're not worrying about the charge dropping on it. If you want to be, I don't know, researching something on the internet while you're playing, you shouldn't be doing that because it's rude, but just think, if you can manage to work it in theory.
Checking on how them cluster caltrops work on your Dark Eldar,
the kittens are back.
Apparently.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who you are, and I don't mean that as a rude thing. You're more than welcome into the conversation. Just obviously announce yourself who you are. Because I don't know. But yeah, it's all about whether I can get a plug underneath every table. The cost might just get stupid at that, so I might not do that idea. I might just have various points around the shop where you can put a charger in.
I don't think it'd be fairly expensive, because you've got the socket ports there. It's concealing the wires really.
Yeah, well, they just go under before I put the floor down. I'd have to put them under the floor and then have a fresh socket, like a floor-based socket, like we have in an office, where it has like the little flappy thing. But all of a sudden, that then costs money. And how much do you need every table to have a charging point? It's a nicety, but do we need it, or do we just need a couple of points?
Is it practicality?
Yeah. So I'll look into it cost-wise, and if it makes sense, I'll chuck it in. If it doesn't,
it sounds like a good idea.
And that's exactly what tonight is about. It's me bouncing ideas off people, and it's giving you guys out there in the audience, whether it's live now or if you're watching this video afterwards, please just put in any suggestions that you've got, or if you hear us talking about something and you think, oh, for the love of God, don't do that, then tell us, and I won't do it. No, I'm not saying I won't do it if you give me a good reason, and I suddenly think, oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Nothing has been done yet in the shop. I haven't even lifted the old carpet up yet. So it's not too late to do anything. You know what I mean? It's plenty early enough. Nick Beer, he suggested he did a bit of a shout out video for me. Thanks, Nick. And he came up with a suggestion whilst he was talking of having some PCs in there for people to go online with and everything. I thought about that initially as being a good idea. Actually, then I decided against it because two reasons. One, Southport has got diabolical internet connection. There's no fibre optic broadband in there because they're not allowed to dig the road and put it in. So I've not really got the bandwidth to be supplying multiple PCs. And secondly, I'm then in danger of becoming a cyber cafe and lending myself more towards online gamers like World of Warcraft and other games from there. And I think I don't want to go down that. As much as I want to be a hobby centre, I don't want to be a computer-based hobby centre. So I won't put PCs in for general use. There will be a PC in there for web orders, as I said before, like the exclusive ones, like what you get in the Games Workshop store where you've got the web till. And then there will be TVs on the wall playing YouTube channels. And it'll just be a playlist of up-to-date YouTube channels, everything from battle reports to rambles and whatever. Because I want to keep the community running, obviously. Yeah, lots and lots of tables of different sizes. I missed out for big board game section. So the likes of we've just been talking about the Prodos games, and there are all sorts of other board games out there. We're going to stock a big selection of them all. We've lost Paul. Hopefully he'll come back in a minute.
Start.
Yeah.
So you know, you say you're going to have loads of board games and stuff. Will you like spotlight these different things with like different demo games, different weeks?
Yes. Very much so, mate. Yeah. I'll pause in my video because I can't do because you're still talking to me. He'll join back. I'm still live, yeah. Yes, very much so. There's going to be open copies of the more popular board games. So Zombicide is going to have a table, for example, because everybody loves zombies at the moment. So push Zombicide. Alien vs Predator and Warzone Resurrection will probably have their own demo tables because they're things that people have been waiting for. But what I will do is, so use you as an example, James, because you're sat here. If you were to walk in store, I didn't know you, and if you were to walk in store and you picked up, I don't know, the Game of Thrones board game, then you can't see much from that when you look at the front cover of the box. It doesn't really show you what's in the box. So if I've never seen in the box and you've never seen in the box, I can't expect you to spend £70 on it. So I'll open the box up for you. I'll open it up, we'll have a look at what's inside it. We'll possibly even have a little game with it. And at the end of it, you'll either buy it because you like it, which is fine. And if you don't, then I've got a demo game then, haven't I? But at least I know what it is for my next person. I'm not going to have every single game that I stock opened, but as you just suggested, the ones that need spotlighting, the ones that need pushing, I will push on my YouTube channel, and I'll push in store for people as well. Pardon me 1 second.
That could turn into like little events, you know. Come down on Wednesday, you know, we're having to go at this game.
Well, Rob from Prodos has already suggested to me that he would come with a couple of his guys, and they will run a starter night, an event night, a Prodos event night, where they will show people how to play AVP, and they will show people how to play Warzone Resurrection and things like that. And that's great. Of course they want to do it because they want me to buy more stock off them. So it's a win-win situation. And where I can, where any of the companies give me...
With stuff like that, it's building customer relationships as well.
Of course it is.
It sounds cheesy, building relationships with you, but then also piquing an interest in the games. that they're selling to people. That'll definitely come down to that.
Exactly.
I love Alien vs Predator. The films aren't great, but Alien was great. Predator's great. Put it in a board game. It's gonna be good.
The models are amazing.
Oh,
Whereas
incredible.
the Terminator Genesis, I don't think looks so good. I'm sorry, guys. I can't remember who makes. It's not Spartan Games, is it? Whoever it is who makes it. I'm sorry, I just don't like the look of it. I'm still going to stock it. I'm still going to sell it. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean somebody else doesn't.
You could always use certain GW miniatures that may or may not be slightly amending IP.
Necrons.
Space Egyptian.
But that's another thing that's worth mentioning as well, is just because I don't like something doesn't mean it shouldn't be allowed in my shop. Or just because I do like something doesn't mean it should be allowed in my shop. I'll be selling what people want me to sell or what the market wants me to sell. It won't be a case of if a customer comes and goes, "Oh, I really want such and such, can you buy a load of it in stock for me?" I'm not going to buy thousands of pounds worth of stock off the back of one person. But you know, if several people ask me for it, then I need to start stocking it, don't I? Even if I absolutely hate it, then I'll start stocking it. It's a business, it's not a personal thing. It is business. But yeah, so the board games will be out, stocked up, and obviously whatever's hot at the moment, there'll be extra stock on and so on and so forth. But that's your first floor. Now, as you get towards the back of that store, down to the left-hand side, there's some steps that go down. Straight in front of you, there's 5 steps that go up. And I might have switched 500 times. I've switched which way around these are going to work. And before you've seen it, you know what I mean. As it stands, you step down, and that's going to be the hobby area. So it's going to have plenty of tables, like workbench table space, with paint pots, and there'll be plenty of ventilation in there so that we can prime your miniatures, or there'll be a specific place to prime with spray cans. But there'll be access to compressors for airbrushing. If you want to bring your airbrush, that's all you're going to bring is your airbrush. You don't have to bring all your tank and everything. And that will be downstairs. And then take a few steps upstairs, and that's going to be the chill out area, where there'll be a big reference library with every edition of White Dwarf that I own, which goes back to about issue 92, I think I started at. Multiple copies. There'll be old codexes, old books, novels, and it's all just there for people to sit and browse through. If you want to take a book away, that's absolutely fine. There'll be a small charge, like a library charge, for taking it away, and then you bring it back. But there'll be tables up there as well. Some will just be couches and coffee tables, some will be more like dining tables with chairs around it. So you can play your RPG games up there, and you can play board games up there, or you can just sit and have a coffee and shoot the fat. There will be a toilet on either the downstairs level or the up level. And the reason, and I know Paul's looking a little bit funny there, because when I spoke to you about it, it was very much going to be chill out area and downstairs was hobby. The waste pipe for the toilet doesn't go to the basement, so it's whether I can get a decent enough up flushing system to put the toilets downstairs. So what I might do.
Some kind of macerator.
Is it which one?
Some kind of macerator then.
I don't know what's that. I don't even know what that word is.
Oh, it's just well, it's. Think of it like a pulper that goes on the back of the toilet.
Oh, right, so it just shred it all down and then
pump the waste out if you want.
Yeah, I just don't know how good that's going to be. I don't know. I've looked on the internet. You can get up flushing systems. It just costs a lot of money. But what I'm actually thinking of doing is putting.
Just stick with the old saying: "Shit rolls downhill."
Well, it kind of does, doesn't it? But if you go up a few steps into the hobby area and the toilets were on that floor, that's going to make my life easier. So where I was talking about putting the stud wall for the other thing would then become the toilets. But where the toilets were downstairs could be the other thing. So that could be. Guys, I'm not being secretive. I'm getting to the other thing. The other thing is the pièce de résistance. I can't even say it. Pièce de résistance.
Pièce de résistance.
Yeah, and it's not, but it is. so I might switch them around. Or I might still leave hobby to. No, if the toilet has to go on the first floor, then the hobby goes on the first floor with it, and the chill out area goes downstairs, which is fine.
Sorry to interrupt you. With regard to the hobby area, what's the natural light going to be for it?
Natural light will be 0, but I've got. If you think about when you walk into a games workshop, as much as I might turn around and say, "Oh, they're dark and dingy," because the way they're painted with the walls, they do actually have really good lighting, so you can see your models underneath the light. I've got even better lights than what Games Workshop have got. I've got 3 different coloured white bulbs, so I'm getting as close to a balance as daylight as I can possibly manage. And the walls are going to be white, and the floor is going to be like a very light wood colour. So the light will bounce round the room, and it will be. People manage to build and paint in Games Workshop, and I think that the light is good enough in Games Workshop. My light's going to be even better. And if you drop a marine head on the floor, you'll be able to find it because it's not going to be grey on grey, which is a big thing.
Definitely.
But yeah, depending on where the toilets have to go, will depend on whether the hobby is up or down. And the reason for it is, let's get to the other thing. Let's just do it. Shall I reveal a secret? Yeah, let's do it.
Go on, it's totally worth it.
Yeah. So the Kickstarter for a reveal the secret. Let's talk about it. The Kickstarter is for £5,000. I'm at £748, I think, at this live point. It might be £749. It's on that £750 cusp. 4 days in, that's absolutely fantastic. I know there's a lot of people that message me saying that they're waiting until payday. And although the money doesn't go out of your bank until the campaign ends, I still understand that a lot of people want to wait and see what money they've got left after the bills so that they know how much they can pledge. That's absolutely fine. I think I've got a good feeling that I'm going to achieve the target. If I can surpass the target and hit a 10k stretch goal, I'm going to put some stretch goals up at the end of the week, so once a weekend. If I can pass the first funding goal and I can get to a 10k stretch goal, then that's just going to give me a chance to put even deeper stock levels in. It's going to make everything more available, if you like. At £15,000, if I was in some sort of wild universe to achieve £15,000, this is where the secret, the idea comes in. And if you don't like it, blame Paul because it was his idea. But actually, it's a perfect idea. So
blame me, but I can't see anyone not liking it.
No. So I've got a big chill out area, loads of couches, and we're talking, I think 12 couches plus 2 corner couches, or something like that it works out as in that space. It's a big space. And then there's a big recess area that's
just a blank wall, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's a blank wall set back, so I could put more couches, but they would feel like they were tucked out of the way. So I'm going to build a stud wall across with a big door going through to it, so it would almost act as a storage room, not a stock room, but storage. What sort of thing would you want to put in a big storage room? Well, maybe a big, huge popcorn machine, like one of the ones that you used to get in the old-fashioned cinemas, like on wheels.
And a candy floss machine.
No, I'm not having a candy floss machine because that's dangerous. It gets stuck everywhere. It's a nightmare to clean, so there's no candy floss in the store. No, you're a bad man. But a big popcorn. Why would I want a big popcorn machine?
Right. Stretch goal, candy floss machine. Who's in?
But what would happen is then the candy floss. So you got me saying that the popcorn machine would come out, door would close, would get all the couches and pull them all up so they're all lined up in rows. and then a 15-foot projector screen comes down with a HD projector attached to a Blu-ray player, and once a fortnight or once a month, however often the local people want it, or even people travelling afar, we're going to do movie night. And I can't charge you to watch the movies because that's breaking every broadcasting rule on the planet. But what I can do is I can charge you £10 for an event night, and that will give you a ticket from 8 PM till 8 AM. It'll give you the allowance to stay over in store, and you get a free popcorn and a free beer, or a free coffee, whatever drink you want. You get popcorn and drink for your £10. And then throughout that 8-hour period, it might be like the very first one. I can guarantee the very first one is going to be all 6 episodes of Star Wars back to back, just played on this big screen overnight. So if you don't want to watch episode 2 because it's pants and nobody likes it, then get up and have a game of 40k or a game of Marathon or something, because there's a whole store's worth of tables there to play on. You stay as long as you want or as little as you want for your £10 or whatever the cost is, and then it might be the next one might be Game of Thrones season 1 and 2 or something like that. It's whatever the customers want. I'll set up then as a movie night or film night. It could be like season 1 of The Flash or something. Whatever people want ultimately. And I've looked into it. The screens aren't cheap, but they're not expensive either, if that makes sense. They're about what I expected them to be. And it's just something extra. It's just an extra thing to give people. You can play games and be watching movies in between and have an overnight game session. And I just think it's a great idea. But let me know what you think, guys. That's good with the 15K stretch goal.
I'd just like to throw this out there with the screen. This was a joke between myself and Martin. If our missus ever threw us out, we thought we'd throw Blu-ray on the wall. We only suggested Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Obviously, he's been thinking about this with the Game of Thrones and the Flash.
Yeah. I just think you could do that once a fortnight. People can have an overnight TV session. And it'll be closed to the general public. It will be on ticket admission only. But you could spend a couple of hours watching movies, and then you might get bored. So you might think, oh, do you know what? I'm gonna have a game now. You might go home at 12 o'clock. You might not want to stay the whole night, but you can do it. Now, what you did hear me mention there was beer. From a stretch goal point of view, again. So I've talked about those 3 floors, and they are happening. Regardless of anything else, those 3 floors will happen. The next 3 floors in the building are going to be the tournament floors, which will easily hold 50 tables. So it's proper tournament space. I can have like 200 gamers on these floors. But the money that's involved in setting those tables up and getting the rooms prepped and ready and getting a bar in for them as well, I haven't got at launch point. So I'm talking 6 to 8 months down the line of the store being open before the tournaments start. And that gives me time to suss the market and get a name in the market to start selling the tournament tickets anyway. Yeah, there will be a bar on the tournament levels. You're allowed to show TV series films in your store because the copyright and all that. I am. Remco's just asked about can we show TV series and stuff. If I've got a subscription to Netflix, I can show what I want. I just can't charge anybody else to watch it. Broadcasting law says you can't sell the performance to anybody else. But if I just happen to be playing it in my premises and you're in there, I think that's all right. And ultimately, I'm not charging cinema prices and things like that. I'm not trying to be a cinema, so I think I've got to look into the legalities of a fair level. I think it will be all right, and I don't think anybody would have a problem with me doing it. But let's look at it. The good thing is, Remco, you've revealed yourself. I know you're watching now. Yeah, the tournament floors are a big thing, but they're a delayed thing unless, and let's talk about the ultimate stretch goal. The ultimate stretch goal is 20 grand. if I get up to 20 grand on this Kickstarter, then the tournament floors will be open. Not on grand open day, but not long after. It just gives me the money to really push into them. Bear in mind, what I'm not doing is I'm not giving you. I'm telling you, oh, it's this many tables, it's this many like shelves and whatever. The retail floor alone is. You can just do the calculation. I'm not going to make it mostly. So just the first floor retail space is nearly 1,400 square feet. It's massive. 62 foot long by 22 foot wide. The chill out area is about 800 square feet, and the hobby area is about 700 square feet. The whole building that I've got is 7,500 square feet. It's massive, like massive. Like I'm saying,
tell you, we would advise you to Google Street Maps the shop, but I've just done it. We were speaking about it before, and there's a bus parked in front of the shop.
Oh no!
So,
yeah, don't Google Map it then.
Yeah.
Bad times.
Yeah. Just get in touch with Google when WarGames opens.
Yeah, so redo this picture, please. Just answer them questions. Yeah, the space is massive. I mean, Paul came with me last week, and we've done like the retail floor, the hobby area, the chill out area, and we've gone up to the next level. And you'd said something about what's massive, isn't it? I said, mate, I said, we're not even halfway through yet. And every time we went into a new floor, I was like, we're still not finished. And then when we finally went into the loft, it was sort of like, right, is this finally it now? Like, it's massive. And the loft, let me talk about the loft, because that's what it's called. It's not the loft, there's actually an attic above that as well. But the loft area. Evening, Ace, we all right, mate? Good evening, sir. Houston, we have a problem. Ace is
getting perfectly still. He's like a little robot. I'm sorry. That's me.
You're dirty Necron. Oh no, he's alright now. You call him a Necron and he starts moving. Hi mate, you're alright?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you? You alright?
Alright mate, coping. Obviously you know James, but you don't know Paul. Paul, Ace, Paul.
Nice to meet you, Ace.
Have you been watching any of it, or have you just jumped straight in, mate?
I've just jumped straight in, but what I would like to say, if you don't mind me just saying my 2 pence straight away, if anyone is watching this guy, I know Martin for a little while now, but if there's anything I can say about Martin, he is absolutely dedicated to what he wants to do, and this, if he nails it, which I have full faith that he will, this is going to be something worth getting behind, guys. So, you know, if I'm going to say one thing, I think really if we can as a community just get behind Martin, I think it's going to be something special. So that's just my 2 pence. But yeah, good luck, mate. You've got my backing.
Thank you, genuinely. Yeah,
pleasure.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know what to say. It's never easy to know how to respond when people are that genuinely nice to you. Yeah, just listen to Ace. just listen to him. And just do it. I have to try and make a joke out of it because I'm getting all sorts of not quite emotional, like, but not far off. But yeah, what we were talking about, mate. I'm not going to obviously go back over everything that we spoke about, but I've just given like a run through of the store and what it would look like. Just touched on the tournament rooms. It's going to be 3 floors, 50 tables, maybe more than 50, but I'm aiming at 50 tables. And
no, mate.
Is there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm having a bit problems with the connection, but I'm here.
Yeah, mine all froze up then as well. Paul's in and out again.
I'm in.
Back in. He's back in, yeah. It's probably my internet connection. But yeah, the loft is where it just got to. So the loft is the seventh floor. In effect, is the loft. That's how big this place is. 7 floors. And there's loads of light coming into this room. Well, we laughed and joked when Paul was with me last week in the shop. We laughed and joked saying, if his missus kicks him out or if my missus kicks me out, I'm going to live in that room. Because it's a bachelor pad. It's brilliant. What it's actually going to be is my YouTube studio. I want to take my channel from where it is, which I've done fantastically well with this channel. I'm not 12 months old until next week, and I'm on 880 something subscribers. I'm like literally about to hit 900 subscribers for me first birthday. That's phenomenal. I must be doing something right to get that many subs. I want to do it bigger and better. I want to do it more commercial. And by having a studio, I can have the light sheets and the umbrellas and the light to get the right light in there, to get the right quality of film, to do good quality battle reports without having. If I try to do a battle report at the moment, it's either going to be in a GW or in one of the clubs, and you obviously got noise off other people. So it means I can do it. Think mini wargaming. Think, in fact, no, Ace, you said it last night. Think blue table painting. That's ultimately they had fun battle reports. They weren't super serious the way mini wargaming were. Those ones with Sean and Rich, they were just the funniest. They got every rule wrong, but the games were hilarious. It was just loads of fun to watch, and that's what I want to do.
I think that's the other thing, for me, like the fact that I think people out there might potentially be thinking, well, I'm nowhere near the UK, it's not for me. But actually, even if you're just like a YouTube watcher, for me, the thought of if you're able to dedicate all your time to this project, then the content that's going to come out of your channel is going to be it's going to get better, and 2, it's going to be more frequent. So the opportunity for people to get involved is going to be, even more. So even if you think, well, actually, that the buy-in and the actual being part of it is not for you, the opportunity of seeing a channel get really, really slick and producing a load of good quality content has got to be worth a shout as well, in my book.
Well, yeah, and that's a good point, Zach, because I can only sell, as most people know, I can only sell within Europe for 90% of my products. But what I can sell out of Europe is not worth the hassle of trying to make the web store split. So I'll only sell within the EU. As long as we remain in the EU, I'll sell within the EU. But to the guys out in America and Canada and Australia and Africa and Japan and wherever else people are wargaming, it is exactly that. Yeah, I can't sell to you physically from the store.
Yeah.
You are buying into the channel. You're going to be getting. I'm not going to do a Patreon service. I'm not going to charge access to the channel. I'm never going to do that. I'm always going to be a free YouTube channel. But to get these videos better, I've got a really good camera. I want another one. I want a second camera so I can be filming at 2 shots and I can edit between them. I want some better editing software. I need the big light stands with the umbrellas on them to soften the lights. I need equipment to make the videos more professional. Professional videos aren't cheap to make, and it'll all come. But the more people who get behind me, so the guys in America and Oz and Canada, whatever, just said, don't think, as Ace has just said, don't think that there's no point in you getting behind the campaign because you're buying into the channel. Ultimately, you're buying into me. If you believe what I'm saying and if you believe what these guys are saying about me, then stick a couple of dollars. We're in an expensive hobby. This is going to sound not beggy, but this is going to sound it's just going to sound how it is. This hobby is not cheap. A box of Space Marines, which is a core box, is 25 to 30 quid. Yes, you can get them a bit cheaper online. I'm not selling cheaper, for God's sakes, but to put an army together just for 40k average army is costing you £300, £400, £500 to put together, and that's without all your hobby suppliers to do basing and everything else. So most people will have a couple of pounds or a couple of dollars, £1, not even a couple. If you can spare £2, then even better. But don't be thinking, oh, well, you've got to put into the £10 pledge level or the £100 pledge level to make it worth your while. If you can afford to put into the £100 pledge level and get 10 lots of 10% extra discount, then great. That benefits you to me giving you something back. But if you can't afford to do that, surely you can afford £1. Most people, I think, can afford £1. It throws in, and if 887 subscribers that I've got all suddenly give me £1, that's nearly a fifth of my target done.
Yeah, you're getting there, aren't you?
And it's that sort of thing, and that's why I'm asking everybody to share it out as much as they can, because I've only got 880 subscribers. Ace, you're on, what are you on, about 1200 subs. But like Nick, who's on 3,000. Or Painterhead, he's messaged me, he said he's going to do something for me. He's got 17,000 subscribers. Templars Crusade 01 is putting it on his Facebook page for me.
Yeah.
He's got tens of thousands of people as well. And that's what it's about, it's just pushing it. Because all of a sudden, if 10,000 people give me £1, it's simple then, isn't it? It's done. And it's not cost anyone a lot of money either.
Yeah.
Paul, you said it when we were talking last week, you said it quite right. The easiest way to become a millionaire is to find something people want and sell 1 million of them for £1. When you break numbers down, it's dead simple. So it is about begging ultimately and saying, listen, if you've got any belief in me, then just chuck us a quid.
I think we're all a club at the end of the day, aren't we? We're a close-knit community, so whatever you like or whatever you're into, it's relatively small. I mean, you think from YouTube, for instance, you think of like computer games or anything else, just the amount of views and subscribers that people that are involved in that get, where they make like mini wargaming look like a drop in the ocean.
Exactly, that PewDiePie's got millions of subs, hasn't he? And he earns millions of pounds as well, to be fair.
Yeah, and exactly. And then for the way I see it, you know, we are a unique small clip of a community, and you know, and actually it's something we're all within touching distance in a way, and actually what a great opportunity to help somebody that is part of that club, you know.
Well, that's it, and that is a two-way thing. One, you're helping me, and as you see on my pledge levels, you're always going to get me eternal gratitude. And anybody that watches any of my videos, I'm an honest enough person. I might be a scouser, but I'm still an honest one. And,
debatable.
But you will get me thanks, and it is heartfelt thanks. But the other side is there is something back for you, whether you pledge so that you get discounts. The point is, I'm going to be, as far as I know, I'll be the only YouTube community member with a store. So you've known me now for 12 months, people, and you bought into me to watch my videos, then it would make sense to buy your products from me as well, as long as they're as cheap as where else you're buying them. You know what you're getting from me. You know that there's a face. When you buy from one of the other online retailers, you don't know who you're buying off. It's a corporate name, and they're just selling you a discount. When you get your little postcard or your little sweet or whatever in your order with me, and it says, "Thanks for your business, Martin," you know who's written that because you know who I am. And it's a community thing. We need to stick together, because believe me, if you help me out, you're always going to be getting my help back as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
You'll be getting reviews on products before they come out. Not before release day. I'm not talking about breaking release codes, but like reviews on upcoming games, honest reviews on things, and there'll also be tons of competitions running as well as I hit different subscriber levels, or just because it's a Tuesday afternoon, it's quiet and it's raining, and I feel like doing a competition. So we'll give a game away today. It'll be random things like that. So yeah, please do get behind, because the 5,000 is achievable. I genuinely think that that's achievable, but I don't want it to stop there. I look at other Kickstarter projects that might ask for, I don't know, 10 grand, 15 grand, and they end up with 100 grand. I don't want no, I was going to say I don't want 100 grand. Of course I want 100 grand, but no, I don't expect to hit big levels. But the stretch goals will go out on Thursday, Friday this week for what I will do with the money if I can hit £5 grand increments, and it will be the cinema screen, it will be the tournament halls, and again, the things that I'm putting into the store ultimately are only going to benefit the people who can visit the store. I understand that, but with every stretch that I hit, the stock levels will be deeper. So when you want to buy your new army and you go on another retailer and you ask for 3 of that thing and 2 of that thing and 6 of that thing, and they haven't got it in stock, so you're waiting 4 weeks. The more money I've got, the deeper my stock levels are, so the more likely I am to have 3 of that thing in stock, because I want to do it. I want to be, to coin Ace's phrase, I want to be the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I'm going to get copyrighted now for that. Kicked out for using Brett to hit my heart.
Yeah, what a classic quote that is.
It's brilliant. And the bit that annoyed me, and is where I'm just going to instantly lose a chunk of people from Southport, is on Saturday there was and apparently a big event happened on Saturday. Some fella who gets paid 150 grand a week to kick a bit of pumped up pigskin around the field left the club to go over to America, and they used that quote for him. They said Steven Gerrard is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And I was like,
wow.
Let me clarify. Yes, I'm an Evertonian, but Steven Gerrard is one of the best midfielders I've ever seen. Steven Gerrard was one of the best midfielders I've ever seen. He was a fantastic player up to about 3 years ago. I think he's just slowly gone down. And good luck to him in America. I've met the guy plenty of times. I've sold him 5 or 6 cars. He's not the easiest guy to get on with. Let's.
I was kind of hoping you were going to say you've sold him 5 or 6 armies there.
No, cars. Ultimately, man, he's not the easiest guy to get on with.
What a poster boy for WarGames that if Steven Gerrard was actually a hobbyist.
What you've just actually said there has made me think of where I wanted to go from there. So I've talked through the shop. I've talked roughly about the stretch goals. Opening day, grand opening day. Now, do I or don't I have one? Before I say anything else.
Probably should.
Yeah, definitely do it, mate. Do it.
Why?
100%.
That's more for the local.
A grand opening day would be for the locals.
Of course it
would be for the people in Southport. I mean, you can advertise it on YouTube, and no doubt people from all over the country might want to come. I mean, you're running Warhammer Mania, you've got a lot of people going to that, so you're gonna have people potentially want to come see the store, especially if they're investing in a Kickstarter. So a grand opening is a good idea.
I don't think that.
I was just saying, like, you need to let the local gamers know that you're there, because, like, if you've got Star Wars in the window, then they could quite possibly just think, oh, it's a Forbidden Planet comic book type shop. Not particularly what I'm looking for, but if they know, oh wait, hang on, there's my fixes in there, then you know.
Let me now tell you why I asked and then paused. I can have a grand opening, and I'll bear in mind in the front window there's going to be 1, 2, 3 double cabinets full of miniatures as well, of all the different games ranges. So I have a grand opening, and it goes really well, because grand openings always go really well, and then I've got no stock left. Grand openings are great because you sell a lot of stuff, but the damage that it can cause, if I've then got to wait a week to replenish my stock by the time the suppliers get it back to me, that week could cause more damage than I would make in sales on the first day, because you get one chance. If I have a grand opening on the Saturday and then on the Monday someone comes into the shop and my shelves are empty, I can turn around to people and go, oh, I've just been battered, I'm unbelievably busy.
Why don't you plan it for like a month down the road, or something like that, just like a celebration of your first month, and then try and
but still,
sort of there.
Yeah.
Have
It's not a bad
two
idea.
sort of okay openings.
Oh, what? Sorry.
Have two sort of okay openings instead of one grand opening.
It's go big or go home, isn't it? It's that expression again. If I'm going to have a grand opening, it's going to be a grand opening. If I have a grand opening, which, do you know what? Let's cut through the crap. I'm going to have one. I like your idea there. That says maybe have the doors open for a little bit, and then do so have an opening, but then have an official opening when I know where I'm up to. And
yeah, well the thing is, I've opened shops. I've got quite a lot of experience with opening shops, and you tend to find that often when you open them, you have teething problems over the first couple of days.
Yeah, of course.
Everything's rushing around, everything's a bit crazy, something doesn't work. You can do something in a month's time when you know you've ironed out all the little creases, and then do something amazing. Then really kind of bring it home.
Well, that makes sense, and I think I said to you, Paul, last week, didn't I, that my other concern is, yes, I'm going to have two other members of staff working with me, but it'll be the first day that we've actually traded, and all of a sudden, what if they're not experienced with the tills and they don't know? It's a daunting thing if there's too many people there.
You could ruin it.
It could end up backfiring. So, but yeah, now, grand opening, and this is to all the viewers out there, because everybody knows somebody that knows somebody. Apparently you're only 7 steps away from anybody else. I don't know how that works, but you're only 7 people away from whoever you want to be in touch with, celebrity-wise, whatever. Anyway, I digressed for a change. Cosplay. I actually toyed with the idea of one of the floors having a cosplay floor selling cosplay costumes, and then I quickly dismissed that idea because people make them rather than buying them. But I want a Space Marine. There are people out there who have made fantastic Space Marine or Chaos Space Marine costumes that they walk around in.
3 at Warhammer World at the weekend.
Well, I was going to say, I've seen them at Warhammer Fest. There was a Praetorian at Warhammer Fest, and not Praetorian. What's the Emperor's personal guard called?
Custodian.
Custodian. Yeah, there was a custodian at Warhammer Fest. I look great, and I see these people like on Facebook who put like these big, like somebody made a typhus suit, a big Terminator suit, and I was like, wow. If any of you out there who happen to be watching this video have your own Warhammer costume, get in touch with me, and if you can feasibly get yourself and your big costume over to Southport for a grand opening, I'd be very interested in speaking to you. Because how cool would that be, walking around the streets of Southport? A big Space Marine. It's brilliant, isn't it? And
Turn heads, definitely.
Yeah, I'm a stormtrooper in the window. Well, I'm a stormtrooper. but yeah, I think I do need to have a grand opening, but quite right. Leave it until a few weeks to a month down the line, and that way it'll give me an idea of what's happened as well, so I can put extra things on for the day, like spot prizes and giveaways and what have you. At that point, I've rambled a massive amount there, so I'm going to pass it over to you three to throw some either ideas or questions, and I'll just start answering things. Anybody who's watching, we've got 5 people watching there, please pop some questions into the question box. I've given you a visual idea, I've told you about the stretch goals, told you where I'm at with the Kickstarter. Let me start answering things now.
Matt.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Oh, go on.
Sorry, if you would mind, I'm just gonna take this moment to bow out at the present moment because I've been up since early. Only just got back from Nottingham this morning. So done
nice.
By the way, on Warhammer World. Yeah, very good, very good. I'll tell you more about Warhammer World next time.
Oh, are you at Mammoth tomorrow?
Probably tomorrow night if we're going to Mammoth.
Yeah,
I'm
I've got a game
nipping for a
against
bit.
James tomorrow, yeah.
But yeah, on the subject of war games, I've not known Martin that long, although it feels like I've known him for ages. He's an awesome dude. The shop is gonna be incredible. I've seen it bare bones as to what it is now. If it's even half of what he says it's gonna be awesome. So give him your support, give him any feedback that he wants. It'll be epic. So
Cheers,
let's just hope we can. The Kickstarter takes off more than it already has done, and we can start achieving them stretch goals. Once the doors are open, I can't see there's going to be an unhappy war game that visits there, and But good luck, and to everyone out there watching it, get behind them, give him the support he needs.
Nice one, mate. Appreciate that.
No worries.
Right, you're going to get some
Take it
sleep. I'll
easy.
see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, James. Nice to meet you, Reece.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good evening.
Right, James,
You too.
you were about to ask a question. Sorry, mate, go on.
Yeah, I was going to wonder, if things go really well with this shop, will you start your own commission painting?
Yes. Yes, 100%. I'm already doing although be it very limited amount of commission painting. I don't advertise it very much, but yes. Again, think back to Blue Table Painting. I had a conversation with Sean last year, and I told him that I wanted to do this from a UK point of view. Would he be interested in helping either a partner business or a completely separate company, but with his help and an unofficial partnership? I suggested even like, let's have Blue Table Painting and Red Table Painting UK, and he loved the idea of it, but it would have affected Blue Table too much, and as we know, whatever has happened, Blue Table has happened now. Yeah, I expect to do a commission build and paint service, not to the level they were, because you can't do both. I'd have to have a whole floor dedicated to hobbits working and painting and building. But yes, I will offer it. The main guy who I've got coming to work for me, I've got 2 members of staff plus me, and the reason I'm doing that, and it's important that I say this actually, is Games Workshop in particular are renowned for their one-man stores, as are a lot of independent hobby centres. They can't afford staff, so they try to run it by themselves, which inadvertently hinders them. If I'm showing somebody how to play a game, let's say Aliens vs Predator, for example, it's a £70 box set or however much it's going to cost, and at the moment there's no expansions for it, so it's only got one value to it. You've got to sell it to somebody. If I'm showing somebody how to play it and I've got their interest peaked here, and then I have to go and answer the phone or say it on the till, their interest drops. So I want to create a situation where that should never happen. There will always be somebody else available to answer the phone if I'm running a demo game, or if they're running a demo game, I can answer the phone. It means I'm going to close for lunch and toilet breaks. It means I don't have to close 2 days a week so that people have got time off. I'm open 362 days a year, closed Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and Easter Sunday, and that's only because I've got to be. And the opening hours are going to be long. I'll be open at 12 o'clock each day through the week, and then Wednesday and Thursday nights I'll be open through till 11 p.m. so that those people who work at the daytime and want a game at the night time, they've got 2 nights a week where they can still get in at 7-8 o'clock after the tea, and they've got 2-3 hours to have a game in the evening. That's why the shop will be open late. Saturday and Sunday normal, sort of 10 till 6 and 10 till 4 on Sunday. And Friday probably be about 8 o'clock, so that you can order your pre-orders when they go live. But yeah, we'll do some commission stuff, because the lad, I won't say who he is just in case other people aren't aware. He's a very good painter, and he does commission painting as well. I've spoken with him about it, and that will be incorporated through the store. It's not going to be a big part of the business, but yes, I would offer it. I would also offer to sell other people's commission projects through the store. So if you painted something up and you wanted it selling and you didn't want to put it on eBay, you can put it in my store, I'll put it on my website and in one of the cabinets in the store, and I'll just take 10% of whatever you sell it for, because that's what eBay will take. So, long-winded answer, but I got my store open in times, which was good.
It was a third answer.
It was a Martin Ramble answer. Just call it what it is.
What's your vision on tournaments and competitions?
Weekly. I want to get to a point where every Saturday and Sunday, if possible, there is a tournament running from the 3 floors that I've got. Have you been up to this Stockport Northwest Gaming Centre place?
No.
That's the nearest thing that we've got for proper tournament play, and they have a tournament on every week. They range anything from £15 right up to £40 a ticket, depending on what it is, whether it's a weekend ticket or whether it's a one-day ticket, and what the game is, and what the prize levels are. I'm going to be doing them. Ticket prices won't be absurd. They'll probably start at, I would have thought, about £15 for a one day. Three games, one day, and that will include a cold buffet lunch.
Sounds good.
Sandwiches and sausage rolls and cocktail sticks with sausages and cheese on them, because I want to be back in the 80s.
Why not?
and then big jugs of cordial. No. But yeah, it'd give like a basic sort of lunch, but the bar would be open for other drinks. Alcohol can only be consumed on the tournament floors. You can't take any alcohol down onto the retail floors, because I don't want it to deter the mothers from bringing the children in. I don't want them seeing alcohol, basically.
Yeah, you want a family atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's easy enough to keep the two separate. And it will be like, it might be one week it'll be a 40k tournament, next week might be a fantasy tournament, next week might be a War Machines, then it might be an X-Wing, then it might be a Malifaux. So it'll probably go on a 6 to 10 week turnaround before you'd be playing the same game again, which I think is long enough to give people, if you only want to play 40k tournaments, one every 10 weeks, or actually maybe one every 20 weeks, because it might be a 40k tournament, i.e. Throne of School style, just games, and then there might be like a Battle Brothers type thing, or doubles, whatever you call it, but massively want to get into them. I'd happily do weekend tournaments. I'm more than happy to do them if the interest is there. Southport's a seaside resort, so there is ridiculously cheap accommodation. There's expensive hotels, and then there's dead cheap hotels and B&Bs, so it's there. And I've got 10, maybe 12 car park spaces attached to my building, which in Southport is unheard of. You don't get. One of the biggest problems Southport's got is everything's on a 2-hour parking meter. So then you have to go back out and put another ticket on, or you have to use one of the big expensive daily, like NCP car parks. I've got attached to my building my own private car park, which I can comfortably get 8 to 10 cars. If I knew everyone was a really good driver, then I could probably put 12 cars in there, but we'll stick at 8 to 10. So I've got a little bit of parking for other people.
Well, that's good for when you bring people bringing armies and things, isn't it? You know, that's handy. That's a big plus point.
Yeah, and it's for patrons only, and there will be big signs up there. So I'll make 70 quid a day just off the clamp. I'll have a clamp for that was 2 people for. I don't expect to make any money off that.
How many people do you think you could cater for at a competition?
Initially 100.
Good level.
We're going to have 50 tables minimum.
Yeah.
5 pieces of terrain per table, on an average 6x4 size, unless the game required more or less. And yeah, 50 tables, that's 100 tickets, isn't it? So it's 100 people. And from a business point of view, it's you can't go wrong with it. Now, I've not included it in my business plan. I've purposely left it out because it might be 6 months before I even start. It depends.
Yeah.
My money's not going on that straight away. Let's be honest. Making 50 tables worth of the terrain and 3 floors presentable enough, because I don't just want the floors as they are at the moment. They've got a red industrial carpet down, and it's an old shop. They're not. It's not bad looking. You wouldn't be offended if you went in there. But as with the other floors, I want it to look professional. So when you walk into there might be themed rooms. I might end up doing, maybe not to the level that Warhammer World have done. I might do like a mini wargame, and I've just done the bunker, where it's like it looks like the inside of a bunker. I might give them a theme. The problem is, their room that they've just done as a bunker is a tenth, probably not even a tenth, of the size of the rooms that I've got. So it's all of a sudden a lot of MDF to cut out the paint. It's a lot of dry brushing on an edge highlight on that bunker then. But yeah, that's the aim. Or they will just be very professional looking rooms. And I'm frozen up again there. Can you guys hear me now?
Kittens is back.
Kittens is back. I hope you're not offended at us calling you kittens, but that's what your picture is, so I don't know what else to call you.
Obviously, Kittens was offended.
But it keeps jumping in and out. The writing looks Arabic to me now. I might be heavily wrong with that, but that's my naivety saying it looks Arabic, so pass. I've put the link out to anybody to show me the link, so it's a bit of a dangerous move normally. But yeah, so tournaments are going to happen, and it's getting the word out there for them. You look at the Warhammer World tournaments, and they sell out within days. Throne of Skulls obviously sold out very quick. It's the first one in 12 months. But normally you can't get a ticket after a week.
No.
The Stockport Northwest Gaming Centre, they always sell their tournaments out for the big games, and then you've got the grand tournaments as well, like where people play the proper competitive games. I'll happily host them from a Northwest point of view. It's not my scene, but I don't care. Yeah.
A GT.
Yeah, I'd hold them and host them if they wanted one that far up in the Northwest. I'm fine with it. Just because I don't like them doesn't mean that I shouldn't stock them. Because the good thing with them is when you get your backside handed to you by 4 of these new knights, then on your way out to the shop you're going to buy 4 knights off me, aren't you? Because you need next auto win. And that's the beauty of having the store in the tournament hall. Is people spend money.
Just had one of those thought idea things.
Cool.
I've seen some shops use dioramas and vignettes as a sort of focal point.
Right.
You know, to get people in and looking, and to an extent Warhammer World have done the same, haven't they?
Definitely.
Except for they put theirs behind a paywall. Yeah. Will you be doing anything like that, or?
The display cabinets that are on the shop window, if you like, the front window, will be the best miniatures that I can have in the windows. And if I create a diorama, or if somebody else, like one of my local customers, has created a diorama and they want to put it in the window, that's absolutely fine. Ultimately, there's I think it's 18 double glass cabinets in the retail floor, and they all need filament models. So actually, it is another bit of a thing out again, maybe more to the local guys, although Royal Mail will cover. I need 2 armies of every game minimum painted up for demo games and for cabinets. That's more painting than I've got time to do. fact, I can cover the 40k armies, I can cover the fantasy armies, I can cover the X-Wing, because they're already painted, and the guys who, well, one of the guys that's going to come and work for me, he can cover War Machine in the hoods, but I've got no bolt action painted up, I've got no flames in war, I've got no zombie. I've got a full box of Zombicide plus all the Kickstarter campaign I won in that competition that Mike Scott did. So I'm going to get that all painted up and use that as my demo Zombicide, but I've got to get it painted up and I haven't got the time. So anybody who's got, especially local people that are good armies, that they're happy to put in the cabinets and you want to show them off, get in touch with me. What I can't afford to do at the moment is be paying people to paint models at the moment. I know a few commission painters have been in touch with me saying, well, can I do some work for you? You can do as much work as you want for me, but there'll be no money at the end of it at the moment. Hold my hands up with that one. At the moment. In the future, yeah, I'll happily take some commissions on. And then the other thing I need is terrain. But I need good terrain. I will be very, very picky about the quality of the terrain that goes into the store. It needs to be of a standard. I'm charging people for tables, and I'm selling that as the fact that they're coming into a big bright space with a good environment and good tables to play on. So I can't have shoddy terrain on them. But if anybody's happy to build some terrain for any of those game systems I've mentioned, or they've got some they want to donate it to the store, then by all means get in touch with me. The Kickstarter doesn't just stop at money, I suppose is what I'm saying. Anything that people can donate, either on a permanent or temporary basis, to fill the cabinets and to fill the tables, speak to me. Just send me an email. At the moment, send the emails. We'll send them to Martin at wargamesuk.co.uk, and that'll come through to me, because that's going to be the web address, is wargamesuk.co.uk. And yeah, get in touch with me. Again, another rambling answer. Sorry, James. Do you have questions?
It must be me, Martin. It just must be me.
Yeah, can't be me talking too much.
So, just out of curiosity, which game are you most looking forward to getting your hands on then? You know, when you finally set everything up and, you know, when everything's running along smoothly and you've got some time to play.
I don't think I'm ever going to play a game again. No, I am. I'm determined. It's a tough one. I am beyond desperate to play Aliens vs Predator. I'm so excited about that game. It just looks so good. So that's up there. The Batman game looks fantastic. I really want to have a crack at that. But from a tabletop game, Malifaux, I really like the look of Malifaux. It looks relatively simple.
Awesome game. Awesome.
It takes all the crap out of 40k, doesn't it? It's ultimately it's poker, but you move miniatures around and then playing poker to see whether you win. That's what I get from it. I've watched a few WarGamer Girl. Watched a few of her battle reports, because she does really good battle reports on them. Very explanatory, and I just think I want to play this game. I see the likes of Chris and Clayton painting their Malifaux miniatures up, and they look good. I like the look of the minis as well. I just think I need to do it. So that's probably the one.
Yeah,
yeah, Malifaux, Batman, and Aliens vs Predator. They're the three games I'm looking forward to learning. I will learn bolt action. I'm excited about it, but not at the same level. I'll learn Kings of War. Mars Attacks looks fun as well, actually. To be fair, I want to go there. All of them. That's why I'm doing it, because I want to play all these games. Imperial Assault, that looks like a really good game as well. So, but yeah, definitely them three, James.
So,
what are you most looking forward to coming into the store and playing? Because you're local enough that you can get in. Not every day you can't, but I get that.
Yeah. On the occasion.
It's only 2 trains.
Well, that Warzone Resurrection and the AVP games, they look very tempting. I mean, I may have to hide my own wallet from myself, you know.
Prodos are doing it right at the moment, aren't they? That Warzone Resurrection seems to be taking off massively.
Yeah. I may get into them actually, because depending on the resin, because resin isn't really very successful for me. But other than that, I need to get into some more 40k, because I've started collecting. I've started to get a few boxes of Skatari, so you know, getting that. There's heaps. I mean, there's even.
You'll never struggle to get a game of 40k in my store. That's for sure.
That's because you'll be there, right?
Well, yeah, there'll be more 40k tables than anything else. Because, let's be honest, people might bitch and moan about it, but it's the biggest game out there. It's got the biggest following. Regardless of what people say, everybody's playing it. So, for every one table or something else, there'll be 2 or 3 40k tables.
You know, sorry to interrupt you, but I just thought of one game that would, because they're the games that I'm sort of already interested in. But there's one game that's sort of an outsider, which I like to keep my eye on. Is that Beyond the Gates of Antares? Or
I've heard about that. I've not seen it, but somebody else has mentioned that to me. And this is the thing. There are so many games out there now. Games Workshop had it for the whole of the 80s and pretty much the whole of the 90s as well. But now there are limitless amounts of games out there. Somebody's just done a video, I can't remember which channel it was, 101 games you should play before you die. And it's like, well, there's 101 games out there, there's more than that. And it's what do you and don't you stock? Yes, you stock GW. Yes, you stock WarGames, and yes, you stock the Prodos stuff and the Creative Press, because they're the big known ones. Guild Ball, that seems massive at the moment, and that's got a big following. Guild Ball, and Spartan Games seem to be making a lot of good stuff. So you obviously got to get on board with that.
There's that Halo game, isn't there?
Halo, yeah, that's got to be big. Halo as a computer game is massive. So,
do you know?
Yeah,
computer game.
It looks like it looks like the old Battlefleet Gothica with Halo ships.
Well, you saw it at Salute, didn't you?
Yeah, it looks good. It does look really impressive.
Well, I just think the likes of that, like the whole Star Wars thing. You've got Star Wars Armada, Imperial Assault, which is more like a Space Hulk type thing. And then you've obviously got X-Wing, which has been around for a bit now. There's a new wave come out. The reason I'm putting Star Wars at the front door is because Star Wars sells, so therefore it drags people in. Halo, instantly you're getting computer game or video game players coming into your store. They might look at Halo and they might play it and think, oh, this is all right. If you get them playing it once, all of a sudden you'll get them on other games then, won't you? It's getting the people through the door and finding a way of getting them in. Once they're in, you can kind of, there should be a game for everybody. The amount of board games that are out there, it's ridiculous. Drop Zone Commander's another one actually that I want to play. That looks good. Whereas Infinity, I don't know much about Infinity. I want to stock it, but I don't know a lot about it. So the third member of staff to start off with. So I've got me, I've got a second member of staff, and then at the moment I'm referring to the third member of staff as Bob, and whoever I employ, whatever his name is, I'm going to call him Bob. A bit like Blackadder. And the guy who's come to work when we plays War Machine and can play Flames of War, Magic, and D&D. So whoever Bob turns out to be needs to be able to play other games. The main request on a CV is you've got to be able to play some of the games that I and the other guy can't play, because that way you can teach me to play it. And I need people who are knowledgeable. Got to be good with customers and all the other bits and bobs and everything, and not smell. But you need to be able to play other games so that you can teach customers how to play. So when a customer comes in and wants a demo of 40k, I should be the guy to teach people how to play 40k, because that's the game that I know. Whereas my first man is going to be the guy to go to for your War Machine Hordes, because he knows those games well enough. So I need an ambassador, if you like, for each game.
You know, I know someone who's good with Malifaux who isn't a million hangouts away from us right now.
Someone who's good with Malifaux who isn't a million hangouts
away from us right now. I was kind of hinting that it was Ace, you know, employ him, but...
Yeah, again, it's a bit of a commute though, isn't it?
A little bit.
Do you play a lot of Malifaux though, do you, Ace? I didn't know that.
Yeah, fair bit.
I've heard you talk about it once or twice, but I never got the impression that you were big on it.
Yeah,
okay.
I've got about three or four crews.
Oh, right, fantastic. I might be tapping the likes of yourself, Chris, and Clay up then for more info on that. It just looks so good.
That's amazing. Awesome.
The first crew that I want to do is the one. I can't remember what they call it now. The Neverborn, is it?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Is it Neverborn where you're getting like the baby and the teddy and all that?
Yeah. Yeah. Baby Cade.
That's it. Yeah.
Dream. Yeah.
I want to do them because I like the minis more. Snail Master Wargaming AVP looks like it's going to be good. Shane Fox has faffed about with it and delayed it so much. At least we now have a release date for it. That's right, yeah, it's coming end of June, isn't it? Seems like you have everything set out for the store/hobby centre. I wish you good luck. And if I can donate some money, I will do before the Kickstarter is up. Fantastic, mate. If you can, as I say, £1 is enough. Obviously, if you can do more, do more. The benefits are there then for you. But everybody, £1 is £1, and they all add up. So yeah, appreciate that, mate. Tick them on now. Time are we on now? Fucking hell, it's 12:15. That's me hour. That's me hour and a half overshot then.
Yeah.
Gents, if it's 12:15, I best be off. It's been lovely speaking to you both. Well,
good stuff.
As well.
To be fair, I was about to wrap it up anyway, because I need to get to bed at 12:15. Well, listen, guys. Yeah. Thanks for listening to me ramble on.
All the best with it all, Martin. If there's anything I can do, give me a shout. All right, all the best.
Yeah, mate. What you've said you're doing already is fantastic. Genuinely appreciate that. And to those of you that have been watching tonight, thanks for sticking with us. For those of you watching afterwards, hope that between the ramble you've got a bit more insight into what's happening, why it's happening. But by all means, throw more questions. There will be more videos going up on YouTube over the coming weeks. I'm trying to get a 3D virtual tour of the store worked out. Somebody's making one of them for me, so that you'll actually be able to see what it's going to look like in a computer sort of manner. And hopefully it's all going to grow and it's there for everyone. So again, thank you two for sticking with us, and I'll see you all on the next one.
Take care. Bye bye.
See you later, guys.